Hi guys, welcome back to a new Boom Beach video. So Boom Beach Frontlines is actually coming out later today. I'm recording this video early in the day. We're gonna have Boom Beach Frontlines content for you a lot of this week just because it's only here for a week. But until then, we're gonna stay on Boom Beach and we're gonna have some fun. Now I have all tanks loaded up because I wanted to try attacking players using all tanks. Now I've used all tanks before. I'm not a huge fan of them at a low level. I think warriors are just way better than tanks. But I want to try using them, and I actually tell a lot of people to not even bother using tanks because at a low level like this, tanks are not as good as warriors. Warriors, you can defeat players that are 15, 20 levels higher than you and exploit bases. Tanks, you just don't really have that same option. Really, the only time you're going to be using tanks at a low level is if a player has a shield generator and you have to take down that player. A player has a shield generator at a low level, you don't really have the energy to do anything, so you kind of just have to use tanks instead of warriors. So I also want to talk about statue loadout because a lot of people have been messaging me on Discord asking how I'm able to take out players that are so high up on this account. And here's the deal. It's tough. Okay, I've been playing with warriors for 6.5 years. I really know how to use warriors. And for someone that just unlocked smoke, you're not going to have the same success I have when you use warriors. But it's definitely possible. I'll put a link down below for a low-level warrior strategy video I made about 8 months back. But basically, one more thing I want to add to that, because a lot of people have been messaging me about gumbo energy, is you need gumbo energy statues. As a low level, get rid of your life statues, get rid of your ice statues. Especially get rid of ice, because ice is trash. Ice is literally not going to help you at all as a low level. So get rid of your ice statues and also get rid of your life statues if you want to progress faster. That being said, it is incredibly important you have gumbo energy statues. Now here's the deal. I'm not just saying get one masterpiece or get a couple guardians. If you can't take out players using warriors because you run out of energy, you don't have enough energy. You should never really be running out of energy when you use warriors. And if you are, either one, you are spending way more energy than you actually need to, or two, you're probably using too much. And that's probably the case. You're using too much on smokes, you're shocking the wrong things. And it definitely takes a little while getting used to how warriors work in order to use warriors like I do. So I would say definitely watch out where you're spending your energy shocking and stuff. And also smokes. Like if you're attacking this base, you only need like one smoke on the landing, and that's it. If you're using more than one smoke on it, it's gonna hurt you because you're gonna be spending too much energy. I'm actually not sure I'll be able to defeat this base here. So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm actually gonna flank up. Oh, that's not good. Their cannon is right there. Okay, we're screwed. Okay, we're screwed. We'll flare to the cannon. We'll take out the cannon, but then there's this cannon and the boom cannon. The boom cannon is the biggest threat. We're actually gonna shock and flare to the boom cannon now. If we can't take down the boom cannon now, we are actually screwed. So we're gonna try taking out the boom cannon. I only have 6 tanks left. Those tanks are going to drop like fireflies. We're going to switch to warriors to hit this base. Bases that I can't defeat using tanks, I'm going to load up warriors. Now, I'm definitely not the best tank user. There are people way better than me who use tanks. But I do know how to use warriors. And I know a base like this would be pretty easy, I think, using warriors. The only issue with this base is there are 2 shock launchers. And I can't shock both of them at once. So we're gonna have to watch out for that. Okay, we're gonna drop a barrage, and then we're actually gonna drop an artillery to take down the machine gun. Why not? Okay, we're gonna drop our troops. We're gonna flare right under the core. Never flare to a building, and I actually did flare to a building, so I'm not going to bother with that. I'm gonna lose a few more warriors by the mines, but I don't think it's worth the 4 extra energy I would spend with the extra flare at the end. So perfect, my hero is covered. We're gonna activate her, and then we'll drop a few shocks down, and we'll get some medkits down. And that should be a win. I'm not even boosted up. Okay, hopefully it's a win. It's gonna be close actually, because the shock launchers are gonna come into action. It's gonna be very close. We're gonna drop an artillery. There we go. It goes down. I forgot to boost up my resource reward, but I'm not sure it's worth it anymore when I've already done a few attacks. You know what? We'll still do it. I really need to get resources, and that's the best way to do it, is to boost up your resource reward statues. Okay. So a base that was hard to take out using tanks was fairly easy with warriors. If you're having a hard time taking down players using warriors, you need to boost up, okay? Boosting up your offensive statues is literally the best way to take out players using warriors. If you cannot defeat a set of players, if you're above 500 medals and you're lower than level 45, you're in a very tough predicament. A predicament I've been in plenty of times. It's not impossible to level up, but you probably will have to be boosting up your offensive statues if you want to get anywhere on the bases that pop up on your map. So don't be afraid to boost up your statues. Obviously, you don't want to spend 7 power powder boosting up all of your statues to do 2 attacks. Try to clear your whole map in that 3-hour window. If you don't have instant training, it's a little bit harder. If you have instant training, good for you. It's going to be super easy to do that. But again, if you don't have instant training, it is quite a bit more difficult. But I've been there. Again, I've been there. I've pushed at that level. Not at that level, but I pushed without instant training, and it really, really sucks. But I understand what you guys are feeling, so that's all I wanted to say. So we do want to take out the boom cannon back here, but I also think activating Dr. Kavan might be useful. There's a lot of sniper towers in here, and having some riflemen on the front lines might be helpful. So we'll activate it. We'll save up for a shock then, because I do want to shock the boom cannon over there once it comes into range. Actually, you know what? We're going to shock the other one, and we're going to flare down to the bottom. I don't know if this is the best way to attack this base, but we're going to try going down from the bottom side. I'm mainly trying not to have my tanks all clump up. We'll drop another shock down on the shock launcher and the boom cannon. The boom cannon is the biggest threat here. The shock launcher, yes, hurts me a lot, but you know what? It's A tier. A lot of people were so mad I put the shock launcher as A tier, but the rocket launcher as S tier. There's reasons for that, but I understand the argument for having the shock launcher as S tier. It's a really good defense, and honestly, I probably would put it very close to S tier. And the rocket launcher is kind of, like I said in that video, my defense tier list video. If you haven't watched that, go watch that. What I said in that video is the rocket launcher is bottom of S, and the shock launcher is top of A. So they're pretty comparable. Alright. We're going to exploit this base, because I've been telling a lot of people that it's super easy exploiting bases, and I want to show you what I mean. And this is kind of a good learning experience for you. So this base is not a base that's traditionally thought of being exploitable. By exploitable, I mean flanking the base, grabbing all this free energy and flanking the base. Honestly, the other side would have been probably a little bit easier to exploit, but I just decided to go from the right hand side, which I don't really know why. I think the reason I did is there's more buildings over here, so I kind of wanted to take advantage of all the buildings I could. So again, an exploitable base is a base that has some sort of exploit. That could be a HQ on the edge that makes flanking the base insanely easy. That could mean badly placed rocket launchers or shock launchers. In this case, the base is exploitable because there's a ton of free buildings back here and along this side. I grabbed 3, 6, 9. I grabbed a ton of extra energy just from hugging at the right hand side that I would have had lost if I just like went up straight through the base. Now I understand that these buildings would have to be mixed in there somewhere, and this is honestly not a bad example of a base that is exploitable. I mean, it's pretty good if you're asking me, but if I were him, I would probably bring all of his defenses down and add a little bit more of the support buildings and offensive buildings behind the core like these, because then I don't get them until the very end. And at the very end, it doesn't really matter. You're trying to take out the troops as fast as possible, at the beginning and not at the end. So this base goes down. I don't know if it was because of the exploit, but the exploit definitely made it easier, grabbing an additional like 30 extra energy. Here's a level 49 down here. Let me just get to it. Okay. We'll see what it looks like. We'll see if I can exploit it somehow. Oh, look at that. You know, a base that would be very difficult exploiting using tanks because of the grappler. This person read my mind, okay? But a base that would be easy, I think, to take out using warriors. And we're actually going to try that. We're going to try my strategy here. And instead of bringing Brick, we're actually going to bring Everspark. And Everspark is not a troop you traditionally bring when you attack bases using warriors, but there's a reason I want to bring Everspark, and hopefully you'll be able to see that in my attack. I'm gonna drop a barrage, take out all the mines here, drop a flare, get my hero down, space out my warriors, perfect, and then I'm just gonna flare to the very back. So the issue here is the CMO, and what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to distract the CMO using Everspark. Again, I don't know if it'll work. I don't want the CMO to attack my troops. I want the CMO to take down critters. It's a big difference there of what I'm trying to accomplish. We're actually going to drop another flare and get a med kit down because I want my hero to get in the back next to my warriors. Okay, and here's what we're going to do. We're just going to sit here. We're going to take down all these free buildings. We're going to drop a shock. Now this base would be very easy if I just went up the middle and took down the core, just a traditional warrior attack. But again, I wanted to do something fun. We're gonna exploit some bases today. So here's what I'm doing. I'm taking all of these buildings. I'm grabbing so much energy. This person had a shield generator instead of a grappler. I do this, I would have enough energy to take down the base with the shield generator on it. So this is why bases that can be exploited are just so dangerous, and you want to stay away from doing something like this where you stick all of your support buildings in the back. So that's one example of a base that I exploited. And that's why I tell you when I do my base review videos, I tell you not to make bases that can be easily exploitable. And here's another base design that is like this. And this base design I'm actually going to attack using tanks because I wanted to use tanks today, which is a very rare occasion if you ask me. But I want to show you how I would attack this base using tanks because, again, this base design looks pretty easy to exploit. So the only issue here is the boom cannon on the beach. Remember, tanks move pretty slow, and you kind of want to be careful when you use tanks at a low level because you're I really cannot lose my hero, but I might lose my hero. You want to be careful when you use tanks at a low level. We're actually going to activate critters because you'll see in a second, I don't want Everspark to die at all. So critters down here at the bottom will distract some of the rocket launchers. Okay, so I'm back here. There's nothing this player can do. He has a couple rocket launchers. I have critters, which are gonna stand in front of my tanks. The rocket launchers really aren't gonna touch my critters. This is the perfect example of a base that is exploitable. If you want to know how to fix this, the best thing you can do is integrate your support and offensive buildings like gold storage, vault, that sort of thing with your base design. And in that way, the opponent has to take down your base design. They can't do a cheaty combination like this where they just flank your base design and grab all of this free energy in the back. And now I can literally I could probably flare to the core and take out the core fine. But I'm just gonna keep walking up, trying not to lose any tanks. Just gonna keep activating Everspark's ability. And then when we get close, we're gonna drop a shock on the rocket launchers and the cannons. So, man, such an easy base to attack. A person who is 7 levels higher than me. I really thought players up this high would know better, but I see players with this type of base design a lot, and it's pretty sad. But you can easily fix this. It would take you 10 minutes to fix your base if you have a base like this. And watch my base review videos. I've made some, like look up rating your base, rating your boom beach bases. I talk a lot about making bases that aren't exploitable. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know down below if you like how I do this, kind of exploiting bases. I know that it was kind of only the last couple attacks I was doing that, but hopefully you enjoyed the whole video. If you did, please drop a like as always. And if you really want to support us, enter code COSMIC in the shop. before you purchase anything. We get a small percentage from Supercell, and it's a great way to support our channel. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.